I wonder what Claude Debussy would have thought if you told him, hey, well, first of all, you're going to die of stomach cancer in your 50s. Okay. But the piece that you write, Claire de Lune, will be used when two people are on a beach where there's this man-child proposing to a woman who may not even like him and gives her money in a card. And he would go, I can't understand a word you're saying. You're speaking English because I'm French.
Because he's French.
Hello, this is Captain Poodle speaking. Are you ready to find love?
Yes, ahoy, matey.
Love. Exciting and new. Go online. They're catfishing you.
Shocker.
Fiancé.
Soon you'll be flying to parts unknown.
90-day Fiancé.
Marrying someone you only met on your phone.
Be they French or Chinese, a brand new K1 visa's the key.
Ooh, the key to what, Poodle?
To love.
It's reality, yeah. Let's love.
He could probably get a couple of words.
I think he would figure out via the context clues.
Yeah. I don't know what his response would be.
I mean, look.
In shorts. He's proposing in shorts.
He is proposing in shorts. Y'all, this is 90 Day UK, Season 3, Episode 11, You May Kiss the Bride.
Yes.
Is
it You May Now Kiss the Bride or You May Kiss the Bride?
I wrote You May Kiss the Bride, but maybe I'm wrong.
No, I'm wondering, though, it might be a British thing. Let me see. Now I want to know.
I'm going to say...
And I sound the way I sound because of COVID. It got me again.
Oh, by the way,
She got me.
My neighbor brought me set a test out. I just tested. I'm negative.
Oh, good.
So
I'm happy.
So I'm not going to...
Got me.
Not going to let it get me this time. That bat just better.
You've only had it 4
flying.
times.
Twice.
It feels like more.
That bat better fly around me. This episode it's on Discovery Plus. What's taking you so long to look this up? What are you doing? Spelunking for it?
I can't find it.
It's very easy. It's literally right on.
Here, I'll look for it. 9 Day UK.
I'll look. I have it right here. I just found it. Season 2 or Season 3. Here we go. This episode is called You May Kiss the Bride.
So it's not You May Now.
Nope, You May Kiss the Bride.
Okay. That was very helpful to know what.
That was 2 minutes of my life I'm never getting back.
Already,
anyway.
Thank you. Your messages have been pouring in about well wishes for me having COVID. So
that's not true. We're recording this. It hasn't even aired yet. No one even knows.
I know you're thinking it though. My voice will get better. I promise.
Sure. All right. So this was some of these couples. I'm like, what gas do we have left in the tank? And then others, like Charlotte and Johan, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
They really kept the lid on that one.
Boy, I did not expect this.
I don't think they should have shown her burning the dress in the.
I don't think they should have either.
In the trailer.
It ruined. Why did you show that in the preview?
Yeah.
Like just
that would have been a great reveal.
Show her looking that no makeup where she looks totally different reveal and she actually looks
like
her
a troll
age.
doll, yeah.
And where she just is like, I can't believe in love again. And to just whatever, see that. So y'all.
Do we want to jump in?
Yeah, let's jump in.
Do we want to do Charlotte and Johan last?
Sure, we can do them last.
Yeah, let's do them last.
Just reminding people real quick. We do want to talk about. Be sure to vote in our Vicarious poll.
Yes, it's out now.
It's Lost in Forbidden Love is the show. It was one of the. Let me see if I remember.
Lost in love, and I don't know about.
You can't sing right now. You gotta save
You're
your
right.
voice.
You're right. I can, and I want to sing it in the right key, and I can't.
Yeah.
Lost in love.
No, that sounds
Fine. I'm a monster.
Forbidden Love,
Forbidden love. Yes.
which is a Matt Sharp showing. Then The Boyfriend,
Yes.
or The Boyfriends.
The Boyfriend,
The Boyfriend, which is a
which
show.
is also a musical that Julie Andrews directed. But she was in.
Great, but that's not a musical. It's on Netflix. It's a dating show.
Japanese show. Same people who did Terrace House. If you ever watched that,
Yes.
gay dating show.
And then the third and final option, also on Netflix, it's the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders making the team. So those are your choices. Vote.
Fight it out.
Fight it out.
Fight it fucking out.
They're all really good choices. So we wanted to say that. Again, if you haven't listened to our interview with Marcus Parks from last podcast on the left, where you been?
Do it now.
Y'all are loving it. And if you're new, if you're any last podcast on the left, new listeners, we say welcome.
Hell yourselves.
Yes. And if you hate listening to commercials, you can forego all of that and jump to RG Plus on the $8 tier, which is commercial free for what, Poodle?
Your pleasure.
That was, you were trying to do Joey's daddy voice, but it just sounded like Darth Vader, gay
Your
Darth
pleasure.
Vader. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of just,
Yeah.
Luke, I am your daddy. Not your daddy, you know what I mean.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Get out your lightsaber. Let's do this.
Vroom, vroom, vroom.
So
He's a furry.
yeah. Anyway, so y'all, if you're new though, you can jump on that patreon.com/realitygaze or on Supercast or on Apple
subscriptions.
All right.
Why
now
don't I
we
just
can
talk
go.
like this the whole time?
Let's talk about Nicole and Taher.
Taher. Okay, I'm going to throw something out. I think this storyline, we never got a full, like a bird's eye view of it. I could not tell you what happened from minute to minute.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like we got a lot of conflicting things. And at the end, she got pregnant.
I just looked at this
I think it was
storyline.
fake the
I
whole
think
way
the
through.
whole thing feels faked.
And that's what
now.
I'm saying.
It
I
wasn't
also
that
believe,
upset.
I said it before, I believe she's already converted to Islam because she was having orange juice in the club, in the pub.
That's really kind of what did it for me. Is he arrives
Me
in
too.
Bristol and he's looking around. He's like, oh, it's so weird. He meets Penelope, the dog.
Who he doesn't think he's going to like. And of course, that wiener dog just like steals his heart.
Well,
I will say the best actress in this sequence is Penelope.
it's Penelope. I wrote this. If we spent about 7 minutes just on a dog segment. And I thought, if one of the biggest segments of your show is where a dog falls in love with its new owner.
I was here for it. I loved it.
I was a little bored. And I like
He
dogs.
turned
but I
on
was
his
like,
Egyptian charm. I'll make you love me. I've said that to people.
I know.
And then I'm like, get off of me.
Yeah.
I want them to love me, but then not want them to love me as soon as I'm done with them.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I know it's
So anyway, he says basically like, it looks so different here. And he's nervous to meet her father. Guess what? I don't think they've ever met before. It did not feel like they were meeting for the first time,
no.
to be honest.
It did not. And Dad felt very it still just felt really comfortable. Nothing seemed that nothing seemed that high stakes.
Yeah. Totally agree with you.
And so he basically when she walks the dog, I mean, y'all, sorry, I didn't write a lot.
He
of
walks
notes
the
for
dog.
them.
Yeah.
He walks the dog. Suddenly they're on the beach. It's plain love.
She's there.
Is a many splendor. And they're the dog. Now, I would appreciate it if Taher ended up marrying the dog. Then That's a plot
You
twist.
can marry a dog now. You can marry a man. You can marry anything.
That's what people are saying and they're afraid of. So anyway.
So I want to ask one big thing. She's like, we're going to go to the British pub. And she's like, this is British culture. He's like, it's loud. She's like, that's because we're British. And then, so she says, if you don't order an alcoholic drink, people will kind of get weird. And I went, but there's such a big population of Muslims in the UK these days, especially in cities. And maybe not in Torquay where they are, but
come at us, sissy. But I thought that was an odd thing to say too.
Yeah. And then it's resolved not 5 minutes later.
Oh, can I also say one more thing too?
Yeah.
At least a little bit that I know about British pub culture too. It's not like bars, especially where we're from. They're a little bit different kind of in like Minneapolis and stuff, but pubs are family gathering places. It's just people 21 and up. So to me, it would seem very normal to sit there and have a Coke or a coffee and not a big deal at all. Anyway, continue what you're saying.
Well, and also she says in the same breath, she says, it's weird not to get alcohol. She orders an orange juice. My thought is she's either converted or already pregnant. I don't know when that, or pregnant. And he kind of apologizes to a woman for not drinking. She's like, oh, it's fine. He's like, oh, can I get a coffee with 2 sugars? Because I'm sweet enough. She's like, that's what we say in England. And I went, look, we're best friends now.
That was
He's like,
quick.
I love English people. Anyway.
It just felt,
Then when she brings out the pregnancy test, I went, okay, how much are we going to cram into one season here?
Yeah, it was a lot.
That's a lot of 90-day tropes.
It is.
And she's pregnant. Yay!
She's what?
Pregnant.
Thank you.
And he's like, I'm going to be a dad. My child will be born. He does say, my child will be born Muslim. And I want you, talking to Nicole, to go with me to the mosque. And she's like, well, I can try. And then she even says, when you meet the right person, you make compromises. I think she's already converted.
Do you think this is the end of them?
Yeah.
I think it is too.
Actually, do we know we see them next week when they're telling people about a baby?
Oh, we do. Okay. All right.
I was surprised to see them on the preview because I thought it was the end of them. Yeah.
I thought it was the end of them too. All right.
Someone we do see the end of, thankfully, is man-child Jamie and Kathleen.
I, as well, am ready to see them go. However, I kind of have a theory, or shall I say, I already know you're not going to agree with me on this. And if you don't, you're not going to want
Don't you tell me what I'm going to think.
I kind of thought I have a different response to Jamie a little bit because I went, you know what? You know what I just realized what Jamie has done?
He's over and he's gone.
No, yeah. And I'm still hurting.
Do you know they're doing that with Nick fucking Jonas?
No, where?
On Broadway. Or maybe it's off Broadway. No, it's on Broadway, I think. It's a bad idea.
God,
he's not going to be able to sing it. He doesn't have the charisma for Jamie.
I just want his
Jamie's
balls
such
in
a
my
shit.
mouth.
You really need him to have like swagger, and you need him. You really want to fuck him the whole time.
So it needs more Joe Jonas.
Even all the Jonases, really, they're all too light for it. Even Jeremy Jordan wasn't right for it. No. You need Norbert Leo Butts in the 90s. You need a guy. You need a guy who is unfortunately a tail chaser. Yeah, wow. you need that.
Okay.
Anyway, sidebar, continue.
This has been your Broadway sidebar. I think Jamie has done the heavy lifting for these segments. And if it actually wasn't
You're right.
If it wasn't for him being a one-man show, their segments would have been completely boring.
You're right.
And he made them interesting and fun. And it made me think, wait a minute, is he a little bit kind of like Gino? Does he know more than we think? And is he just playing a character and playing along? Because I do feel like he wants to be famous. Mm-hmm. Anybody else on this season, I feel like he wants to be famous. And I thought, what if Hi Jamie's all an act?
He'd have to be a really good actor. I don't know.
But y'all,
I could see it.
Kathleen is fucking. She is dried shellac on a rusty car. She's so boring.
She wants someone who won't talk to her, who will give her money. That's what she needs. She's 37 years old,
she does not want to be on this show.
Which, for her culture, is very old.
Yes.
Not to be married.
Yes.
And she's aware of it, and she's doing what she needs to do.
She is.
Yeah.
She is. So, y'all, apparently she keeps looking at the photo from the party, torturing herself over and over. Y'all.
Which, to me, is all about her reputation. That's not about her being offended. She's feeling disrespected, and she needs to kind of experience it over and over again.
That's not good. That's not a good way. That's not a good place to be.
It's not good.
There's only one type of video Poodle likes to watch of him being disrespected. And it
involves a pup mask and a tail.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. And the soundtrack to Evita.
A new Argentina, actually.
Exactly.
Oh, no, Buenos Aires, because that it moves.
Okay.
Just a little bit of star quality.
I laugh because that is the exact song I thought of, too. Because you could really pull out the butt plug at the end of quality.
When she says, the worst part is Madonna could not hit that low E because just a little bit of star quality. It's a low E for a woman. She goes, star quality. Patty could hit it.
Again, my mother was insistent that I watch that movie with her.
Ugh. I'm glad it made people see the show Evita, because there's a lot of crap in Evita, but there's some really good music. This has been your gay moment.
This has been now we know they would remake that movie and they wouldn't have Madonna play Evita.
No,
or
they would have probably an Argentinian woman.
Yeah, maybe that'd be great.
When they did the revival, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yes. So he's like, we gotta call my mom. So they call her. They call up Lipstick, and she's wearing it.
I'm so sorry.
And he's
if
like,
you'd like me to apologize, I will apologize.
Yeah, if you could apologize. And Kathleen's kind of sitting there dead face. And then when he turns the camera to Kathleen's face, she gets the fakest smile on her fucking face. And she's just like, wee! And she's like, I'm so sorry. She goes, thank you. And then even before she hangs up, did you notice Jamie turned the phone in and she actually made this fucking face of like, what?
It is kind of weird. Maybe that's all she knows how to act.
Just what? Terrible?
Pissed off. So she says, something is not the same between you and me and your parents. He's like, I want to bring my two favorite girls together. Which is a really weird thing to say.
Yes. And she wasn't talking about it. She's like, don't touch me. Don't talk to me. Don't speak to me. And then the next breath, we see Kathleen is shopping. She's going out shopping. So Jamie says, I think the best way to make her feel included is to get her
a member of my family.
Yes, he's getting her an engagement ring.
And he spends a whole 426 euros, which is like a little more than $450.
And then I wrote this down. I went, y'all, he gives her the ring, but then he also gives 100 euros in a card. And I went,
in a card.
And I went, and that's the way you get Poodle to marry you.
You know what?
You just
it takes more than a couple $100.
But if somebody had a check for $500,000 in a card that you knew you could cash.
Stop. I have an erection.
Yeah. Poodle's getting married, y'all.
Just made out to cash. Hold on. I'm going somewhere. Or just like one of those like thick wads of like 20s or $100 bills. Put that in something. My own personal Scarface.
You really still want to get fucked on a bed of money, don't you?
Oh, still. You all want to, too.
I don't.
Money's not dirty when you're fucking on it. When it's yours, then it's clean as the day you were born.
Wow. All right.
So anyway, y'all, he gives her money in a card, like not like your grandmother, like he's your sugar daddy.
Yes.
He's purposing in shorts.
Yes, he's purposing.
These enormous flowers. Gets on one knee. He's like, "You're the most important thing." Blah blah blah. Like he starts crying. She cries. Will you marry me? Yes. And all she can say is, "He's not a bad person. He'll be changed soon." And I went,
And Jamie's
"When?"
like, she seems happy. And then he looks at her and goes, "Hi."
Hi.
And
he goes, "I brought you a mug too." And that's when he gives her the card. And you know what? She gets really excited about the money in the card.
She did.
That's it. He knew what was good for her.
Y'all, and that's it. We think that's all of them.
Then he says, "I'm going to go tell my parents." And the ring's too big. And he's like, "I think they'll be open on Sunday." And she's like, "She can go on her day off." Remember, Sunday's her one day off.
One day off. Oh, goodness. All right. Let's talk about really quickly.
I think this was all fake.
Yeah, let's
Did
talk
this
about
feel fake?
John and Sprite. Yeah, this felt very I almost said fuck. Fake. Best line. If for once in my life I want a cheesecake, then let me have a fucking cheesecake.
I have a feeling you've eaten cheesecake more than once in your life, John.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's a weekly thing at the end. Stress eating. Because it's not that I'm not really criticizing his weight here. I criticize his relationship to food.
Yeah.
And I think that Sprite is picking up on that and is trying to say something. It's obviously not the right way, because you can't manage this person's weight. We can't, and no one can do it. But he's like, "So did you want a starter, Sprite?" And he's like, "No, just one plate." He's like, "So I'm going to get a starter." And he's like, "Nope, it's too much." He's like, and then he says, it's a date. It's a special occasion. So we should eat a bit more food. That's when it started to get like, what is that for you?
I mean, I feel like that's probably Americans and British, how we celebrate.
Yeah. But the idea of him, and he's like, "Then I want to have dessert as well."
I think, again,
Which is fine.
And maybe, but I know that, like, I actually don't. A lot of people gain weight when they're really unhappy. Right. I'm a bit of the opposite. Your cortisol levels are up, so you actually can gain weight physically by not even. I mean, I gained weight when I was in Oklahoma, but that's because I was stuck in Oklahoma and I only had Fat Belly Burger. Yeah, but I am the opposite of actually when I'm really happy, when something happens, my go-to is, something great happened. We should go out and eat and have an exorbitant meal. And my talk in my brain says, how can you celebrate in other ways that don't involve food? I kind of have to talk to myself a little bit like that. So his feel a little beyond that.
Yeah. And y'all, Sprite is obviously doing something. He's like, "No." And I wrote down, so now we're throwing this at this storyline. And he's like, "Every meal is a big meal." Because then he says, 90 kilos is my ideal for you. By the way, I just did he's 100 now, which is like 220 pounds. And he
needs to lose like 20 pounds.
Sprite's basically saying you need to lose 20 pounds, be under 200. And y'all, this is a terrible thing to say to someone. But I still feel like it's produced.
It's produced. It's also a bit of culture.
Right.
Sprite does say, at least he says, I worry about his health. He doesn't say so much about how he looks, but still, it's just.
Well, he says that, and then in the same breath, he says, "It's not the weight. I'm just trying to see if you will do something just for me." I went, wait. I don't understand.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's like,
What
it's
is
just-
it?
It's just, y'all, when it doesn't make sense, it's because it wasn't truthful. I just
Yeah.
feel like the more and more we
Amen.
watch this show, if they don't make sense, it's just because it was created. So that's what I think.
Then there's this. He says, you're supposed to accept me for who I am because there's so many things I want to change about you. And it's
But
like,
I don't say anything.
y'all, this is, even if you are hurt in a place, the worst thing you can do is go on the offensive against your partner.
Yeah.
And it's just like, because then you've lost, if we're talking about arguing here, you've lost all ways to cross boundaries, to make it to the other side once you're calling it out.
Yeah.
And there's no way you're going to win the argument
No.
if you go in.
No, you're just going to back yourself into a corner.
Yep.
Yep.
So, and then Sprite says, you don't think I can find someone better than you? And then they play chicken, and it's so weird. Like they both threaten to leave, and John threatens to keep eating.
And he's like, you're not going to leave. He's like, yes, I might leave. Are you sure you're going to leave? I could leave. Well, if you did leave, would you leave? Yes, I would leave. Like, it just was so.
I don't believe any of it. I just don't believe any of it.
I don't either. Well, we'll see the resolve next week. Y'all, next week is the finale. I've heard, I think, was it Mary Payne told me that we are getting a reunion tell-all for this. We don't know.
It hasn't been promoted anywhere.
It hasn't. So, but supposedly, what do I do now? I have a friend who I was listening to her talk the other day, and she actually says the word supposedly. I didn't correct her because I don't want to be that person. But
you need to correct her because then she's going to do it in some other place, and someone will laugh at her.
Because I giggled at first because I thought she was making the French joke.
You find a way to do it. You find a way to do it. I've gotten in trouble with this before with someone.
No,
not you. Especially someone in a relationship I'm with, and they said something, and I did not do it. I did not laugh. I held it, and then they said it again, and in a place there was no change. I'm like, it's actually not that. And I was trying to make it so someone would not either make fun of them because that's not what I was trying to do. You just correct them in a way that's nice. What are you afraid of happening?
I don't want them to feel. Feel dumb or stupid. That friend worries about that. They worry about that in life.
Oh,
so it's
but as your friend, wouldn't you? But they know you're not trying to make them feel dumb.
No. Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. I'm going to think about this.
I have no problem telling anyone like that.
Sorry. Total gay DD tangent. Let's go back to, where are we now? Oh, is it time?
Johan. Yeah. Still no Johan. Guess what, y'all? There he is. She's pissed. There he is. Oh my God. He stood her up.
They stood her up. Mom is not having it. She is pissed. And y'all, I laughed and laughed and laughed watching them all crammed in that
crowd in this Justice of the Peace office.
It looked like they were in a fucking accounting office like fucking
looks
office
like they were in an
space.
escape room.
Yes, and the mom was just standing there with that face.
Oh, she deserves some kind of award for this season. She has been spectacular.
Spectacular. That's what. See, we have some couples that are duds, but then we have this, and it's like this is almost on par with mom calling during the wedding.
I totally think Charlotte, Johan, has been some of the best that we've had this season.
I agree. Yeah. And so he shows up. She's like, "Let's get inside and get married." So they go. They're in there. They're getting married. And mom's like,
"This isn't what I wanted for her wedding day."
Me shoved in your corner.
I wanted her to have a lovely wedding.
Johan, y'all, the best actor award I say goes to Johan because he cries at this wedding. Cries.
And okay, question. She says, "Why were you late?" He's explaining car trouble, like
Yes.
a tire,
Something like that.
yeah. And so it's the day after the wedding. Johan is going to speak to the mom. He's like, "Why were you late?" He's like, "A flat tire." He's like, "But you changed the taxi to your uncle. In England, if you give someone a time, they expect you to be there." And that's when he's like, "You said 5 minutes. It was 35." Then he's trying to argue with her. Y'all, I don't think this woman's ever going to get a real apology to make anything to make her feel any better.
No.
Because what she's doing, she senses that this guy's going to con her daughter.
Yeah.
And the old battle axe turned out to be right.
Yeah, because remember, I'm an expert. I've been married 3 times before.
So then she meets Maria, her friend.
Mama Maria.
And they're talking about him being late and the visa. And that Maria's still saying shit like, "Well, the cost all shouldn't have to be on you, Charlotte." I'm like, are we still doing this?
I know.
He has nothing. Are we still that stupid? I'm glad Charlotte doesn't really dig into it.
No, Charlotte actually she says, she's like, "Look, this visa is going to take longer than we thought, though." And she's like, "But you know what? He's my husband, and we're married now. And so I know he can come here and be the man I expected to be. ... A question for you. Because I don't know if this happened with Caesar. Have we ever had a moment of 90 Day Fiancé where the producers actually tell someone what happened? Like a plot point of what happened? What happened was I guess yes. Ukulele Man, when he found out he was dating a man.
Oh yes,
yeah,
Tyree.
I think that's the only other person we've ever seen, right?
I'm sure there's been other times.
No, because I bring that up because they really try not to do this kind of thing.
They do. I know there have been other times. Someone will correct us on this.
Let us know in the comments or tweet us
But it is rare. Sometimes things happen and they have to set up. Like remember the George and Anfisa thing where they have to set up, like something later.
Oh, yes.
And where he's like, "What? No one called me," and she's like, "You fucking liar!" And she went crazy.
It's like Poodle's safe word. Very rarely used, but when it is, it's serious.
It means a lot. Yeah. Woo.
It's been about a decade since we've heard it.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think when it's happened before, or because in Nicole with Nicole and Asin, they've had to do things like Nicole called the camera crew, blah, 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 blah.
That we've had before, but we've never had actually producers sit down and say, except
where
for
they've
Tyree,
had to tell someone.
We said, we have information.
I think you might be right.
It's just Tyree, I think. Because they kind of did the same to Tyree. They said, well, hey, look, we have some information. We've talked.
This is a man, and this woman's not real.
Or as Poodle says,
it's a man, baby.
That is what he said. So this time the producers.
Poor Tyree.
Well, also poor Charlotte, because they sit her down and they say, we have some bad news to tell you. Someone emailed them that they have been in a relationship with Johan while you were with him. And they said,
we've seen evidence. We've seen texts.
Screenshots, timeline. Like they say emails, photos, text. They have everything. Charlotte.
Her face.
Oh.
She doesn't know.
She has no idea. We see this kind of flashback. It's weird of her calling him. You don't even really hear what he says.
No.
You just see her kind of yelling at him saying, you know, the balls.
There's messages, there's texts. You lying prick. And she says, I'm feeling numb. Tells Maria that he's been having an affair. And I kept writing down, why was her mother not here for this? Why was her mother not here for this?
That'll be next episode because she doesn't want to tell her mom this yet. She didn't have mom here yet. No. Because she's like sobbing into Maria.
Well, that's something, ain't it?
Well, I guess you're not leaving me now, are you? Just you and me, kid.
He had a girlfriend all along, didn't he? Charlotte, you always have such a bad picker.
Such a bad picker. Yes. Yes. Charlotte says, she tells Maria, she said, I didn't know someone could be so hurtful. Because y'all, I think I've liked her a little bit more than you. There's been some problematic things from Charlotte, and sometimes she says things that she's not really checking her privilege. But on the whole,
compared to the rest of the cast,
you can tell that she really loved this guy and really wanted to make this work.
I agree.
And really loved his family. And actually, what is one of the best people we ever saw in someone's house, and the way
especially on this spinoff.
Think about the way Angela talks about Michael's food and where he's from.
Goat.
Charlotte did none of that. So
or Big Ed, how Big Ed talked about the Philippines.
Charlotte would have eaten the pork.
She would have. She loves pork.
She loves pork. So. Anyway, she says, he's denying everything, saying everything is wrong. He's in complete denial. And Charlotte's like, she's basically, I'm sick to my stomach. And that's when she goes out
to have a bonfire of the vanities. And y'all, is there anything better than burning your wedding dress?
My mother should have done that. I just saw her take hers to the garbage can and throw it away, which is really sad because she made it. I wish she would have kept it.
Could she have done that when you weren't around?
Well, it was in a moment and she just walked out there sobbing, her eyeliner streaming down her face, and just threw it in the trash can and screamed, "Fuck you," and then walked back up.
Did you say anything to her after that?
No, I just went outside and played Wonder Woman and just spun around and tried to imagine myself on Paradise Island.
I have a feeling Oreos were involved later.
Yes. Yes. No, I think at that time I was into vanilla wafers, which I still love.
I enjoy a vanilla wafer.
Oh, my dad used to make them he put a little vanilla wafers in milk and mash them up. And that was my favorite.
Ooh.
Oh, I loved it. Loved it.
That would have bothered me texturally.
Anyway, y'all, she burns the dress for the vows.
Bastard.
And she says, and this is true. She says, I don't understand why someone would do that to me. And she says, he took my kindness for a weakness. And I wanted to say, Charlotte, go to a codependent anonymous meeting while you're at it. Because I think she's this person always in life. I bet she's actually, or somebody else who said's good at this. I bet she's actually really good at giving other people advice and running in to save them. But she needs to save herself, like in some way.
Who did I say? Kalani, yes. She was kind of staring, kind of like Kalani's, like looking at the floor, hoping a void would open her up so she didn't have to be there. Someone did a picture of, I saw it on Twitter. It's a picture of Emily just sitting there telling the parents she was pregnant again, and then it said, "Bitch, been following the Kalani style of birth control."
Yeah. Whoa. Y'all,
Lord,
that's a show. Shorter show. Not a lot of notes this episode for us.
No.
But anyway, next week it's the finale. We don't know if there's a reunion, so I
haven't seen anything about it, but
we didn't even get a screener for this episode, so we're recording this on Monday. But yeah, we hope that this was a little break in your day. Again, as I saw someone tweet today, can I just live in precedented times, please? And I thought, fair. That's fair. So anyway, we hope this was like a little 45 minutes or an hour. All of our shows are just a break from your life to let you know we're having a break with you, and we're glad that we could be a little fun for you in this moment.
Yeah. And hopefully my voice will be better soon.
Wow. Always bringing it back to you.
I'm saying that because people will complain. So, I'm working
I
on
don't
it.
give a shit if they complain. You've got Miss Kova. You can be sick for as long as you need to be, and people can just suck it up and pull and stick it up their vulva or their butthole if they got a problem. There you go. All right, everybody. That's the show. Go to realitygaze.com. If you want to listen to the show commercial free for your pleasure, go to patreon.com/realitygaze. Or you can go to, I believe, realitygaze.supercast.com.
That's correct.
Supercast. And finally, if you don't want us to know who the fuck you are, just click on that little button simply on your Apple Podcast app.
I love that.
And you can join Apple subscriptions, and away you go. You can't vote in anything, but you're not going to hear us do commercials.
It's kind of thrilling. Like, we don't even know who you are. It's anon.
Oh, you got to find.
I love a good anon scene.
Look, you've got to.
I got to find somebody with COVID to fuck.
Yeah, change your grinder to COVID and looking.
How about just positive? Probably not that.
All right. On that note, we call these lads and laddies from across the ponds lonely hearts. Because aren't we all just lonely hearts looking for love in all the wrong shires that abound this great?
You know, not the whole UK isn't about Lord of the Rings.
That's the show. That's not. You don't say that to me.
It's not. It's
I don't know what you're talking about.
There are people who don't even know Tolkien in the UK.
You're trying to anger me. End this show.
Is he even British? Oh, and if you can't wait to get that card full of money at your next engagement, you can call us.
Give us a ring.